What's up everyone, this is Scher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm gonna talk about Romancing Saga UniverSe news. Yesterday Square Enix did a live stream on their Twitch channel where they announced plenty of new content. Some of this content is inside the news page, some of it is not. We're gonna start talking about what we can see. They announced double banners. Yeah, get used to this because it's super common on JP to get double banners all the time. And it seems to be a SaGa Frontier II celebration for a whole month. Well, the first banner is Romancing Festival Misty that brings old Gustav, old Johan, and Misty. And I have to say, they buffed Gustav. We already have the information. He's now a top tier character. Misty is also pretty strong. Johan is good but comes with some gimmicks. I'll talk about them all later. And the second banner is SaGa Soul and Leonor. Yes, yet another SaGa Soul banner. These banners are pretty limited, but they also get reruns later. Leonor is a very strong support damage dealer, and they buffed her in global. The other two characters are not that interesting, but at least Gianna can attack with fast attacks 3 times in a row. There's that. Now they also talked about the event that will be released on Reset, and it's called Under the Sky Once More. This event here will have the normal stages that will give you Rick. This Rick is insane. He's a free welfare style that has a gimmick similar to Bertrand, where if he kills the enemies, he gets PP back to keep attacking with strong attacks. So pretty close to a premium unit, but free. And then you will also be able to fight some specific battles in this event. And here I'll show you some of the images from the presentation, some from the data mines. This new event is called Under the Sky Once More. It's where you'll be able to get the new version of Rick. Like I said, pretty powerful. And there is also this Fated Deathmatch Battle with Egg. This is a secondary event. And you can also get plenty of rewards on the shop, even promotion scrolls. Moving to the second slide. This other event is called Mighty Foes Clash Battle with Lords. On the original SaGa Frontier II game, you have to fight against 6 different lords. You actually don't really need to defeat them, but if you do, they make Egg, the final boss, weaker. And there are 6 different versions with 6 different elements: fire, wood, stone, beast, and water. Those are the elements there. Moving to the third image, we have Super Mighty Foe Fated Deathmatch Battle with Egg, the 4th event where you really fight against Egg, and it should be probably the hardest fight so far in the game. You will also be able to get gold pieces and gems. Next slide, we have Battle with Tree Folk, the event number 5, and then here it's 10 more HP, just like the first event we saw, when comparing to Leon Arc Tree, so even higher caps, probably the best place to farm depending on the number of waves. This event is also related to SaGa Frontier II. There will be new equipment, so a lot of things to get from the shop and gold pieces. We also be able to farm 2000 gems from the appreciation missions round 2. Now the next pictures are from the data mines. As you can see here, the battle with Egg will actually be released in 3 resets from now. Let's see more information. There's plenty of gold pieces even daily. Also, even more by logins. There are plenty of login bonuses. Here it explains a little more about the elemental lords. And the last information here says that this battle with Egg will be permanent later. So if you cannot defeat because it's extremely hard, you'll be able to do it later. Now, I will return to make a preview of Gustave's banner. The information is already inside rsdb.com for everyone to check. The first character we'll talk is Gustav, and I have to say he is triple S material. This version of Gustav was changed in global in JP. He's a cover tank. He is now a Scrum Guard user in global. And I have to say, Scrum Guard is a very good resource to resist damage. Sometimes a boss will remove buffs that you apply to your party and cleans the debuffs that are applied to them. So what's left for you? You can still use Guard Up or Defense Enhancement to resist damage, or apply Attack Down or Morale Down on your boss. But also stuff like Scrum Guard works, and it's always active as long as everyone is alive, and you can even stack Gustav is a great sword user. There's Final Impress. If you want to make remembrance battles for a great sword even easier, bringing both will work, but sometimes they will fight for one slot in your party. But Gustav is pretty unique, not just a Scrum-Guard user. He can also decrease damage even further. Well, first he has Breath of Invigoration, healing HP and 1 BP, so essentially 4 BP per turn. It also has High Protect Tension that decreases damage by 30 and increases his damage by 20. His selling point is still dominance. This attack is insane. It's 8 BP in a roll damage with S power, but it's just so close to double S that you should consider it a double S power attack. That will also apply defense stance large for magical attacks, decreasing those by 35%. So you already have Scrum-Guard, you already have High Protect Tension, and now you cast even another defensive effect to resist damage. His endurance and will are very high, his damage is not his main focus. So he can also use this every 2 turns to keep the buff available at all times, and in JP is not fast, so here it is. His agility was actually a problem, something that also happened with Global X Rofus, but he will apply before the enemy attack. This is amazing. And then he can also farm with the second skill, but it's not his main focus, and the first attack gives him an even better defense stance. But you should not care too much about this. You can even import Healing Blade from his past style, or also give the roll attack to this one, or even to the A Little Too Big, so that he can farm roll and 2 times even. The next one is Johan, and he is back on being a martial artist attacker with a focus on SR and agility and a very low endurance. He needed dexterity points to import skills from his off-banner style. Well, this character comes with Scorpion Venom, a passive related to his lord that poison himself and increase his damage for the first 5 turns, reaching as much as 75%, but with the cost of being poisoned and losing 10% HP on every turn. You can try to cleanse, but then you have to do it again, so it may be a problem. Johan can evade because he even buffs agility, but only 5%, and has very high status. Depending on the formations and strategy that you use, it can help him survive by evasion, but taking damage is risky since endurance is pretty low. But you can give him your best equipment, and if the enemy attacks with blunt attacks, it can still work. Well, the problem is that he is a blunt damage dealer and already have Leon, that is a nuker. He brings a different type of nuke for blunt with Rising Sun, 4S attack that has only 9 BP cost and costs 1 LP as well. So you start the fight, reach close to 20 BP and start unleashing Rising Sun as much as you want, since you will already have heat up effects that will reach as much as 75% increase. And that's it, that's his rotation, a character with a gimmick that try to slowly kill him and increase his damage with a price. Then we have Misty, that's actually the final boss of SaGa Frontier II in human form. She has a focus on agility, intelligence, and will. She's actually a mage that uses martial arts, just like Creator. They do physical damage. She builds HP and BP and OD on every turn, buffs intelligence by 15%, gets morale up, and increase her damage pretty much similar to Global X Liza. Instead of Johan, she gets heat up and defense up. She barely takes any damage after a passing of turns, that being 10 turns, so very long fights will benefit of having Misty on the team. And she's also an AoE attacker with sheep attacks that can be either blunt or slash by inheritance, or she can also become the best Petrify Inflictor in the game with a support spell that petrifies with medium chance. There's also Meteor Swarm for Paralyze. She stole this attack from Apollo. Then the second one is 6 BP and has a chance of hitting once or twice. If he hits twice, it's very strong, triple S damage. If he hits once, it's just 8 damage. And the nuke called Big Bang Star, one of the strongest nukes in the game, but comes with the price of dealing 20% HP damage to everyone else in the party. That's what happens when you are a villain, right? So those are the 3 characters. I'll make the full review, of course, and I have to say that this banner is safe to summon because of Gustav and Misty being very good. Johan will not see much usage because he's a blunt attacker where Leon dominates and it's easier to use, but depending on the situations he can use it for farming in some types of challenges. And here I'll show you more information about the SaGa Leonor banner, and I'll start with the Leonor. Well, Leonor is a support mage with some damage capabilities. She focuses on agility, intelligence, and will. Nothing here is top class, but pretty close. She has low endurance like most mages, but good enough will. But also buffs 5% intelligence and will and recovers. She has high protect tension to decrease damage and deal a little more, but she's not exactly a real damage dealer. The first skill, Flame Naga Plus, has a power with 5 BP. For fire, it's not bad, but also nothing very good. Blaze Naga, it's an AoE attack. This one is actually good because, well, she can cast every 2 turns. She uses a normal attack and then Blaze Naga, or she can just keep using Flame Naga as a single target damage dealer. At least she has an interesting cycle. She lacks a 0 BP skill as inheritance, at least to not have to use the normal attack, but that's it. And then the last skill, Song of Souls, is the selling point. Here, she applies a support skill that gives attack boost, increasing damage by 15% for 10 turns, and then a heal on the end of a turn for 10 turns. That heal on the end of a turn will heal for 150 on average, but she has to spend 10 BP and 3 LP. So she starts the fight, use this. On the next turn, she only has enough to use Flame Naga, but if she skips one turn, she's back on using Blaze Naga instead. So can be used for single target or AoE scenarios. Just this situation here is already reason enough to use her in some fights, especially in fights like Spiral Corridor and future challenges. It was changing in JP is only morale up small. It could be easily replaced by another bigger morale up. Now it's attack boost that stacks with any other type of attack boost and also stack with 1 morale up. And the HP heal is important, and it lasts for 10 turns. You don't need to use on turn 1 as well. You can wait a little, stack BP, and use when you see that the boss is stacking. So it's actually the best character from the banner, has utility. I think that only people with the Spell Girl may think that she does not offer much, but those without will see some type of utility. The next character is Julia, and she is a hybrid bow user with water element, just like Liz. But she suffers for being a hybrid, losing a lot of endurance points and focusing on dexterity, agility, and intelligence with none of the status being top class. She gets Mastery 1, buffing 5% dexterity and intelligence. That's not that high, but she gets 65% increase in damage when attacking weak targets and 4 BP per turn. Well, she comes with Aqua Viper Plus. This is a roll attack with 8 power. She will be able to clear waves with the help of another roll attacker or another AoE attacker, but she herself is not that strong in order to solo farm unless the enemies are pretty weak. The second attack is Heaven's Thunder that gives medium chance to paralyze, but paralyze is actually pretty easy to find. And then the last attack is Aqua Viper Crash, bringing Pierce and Cold, beat damage, and 23 mod. Very similar to Robin Liz's attack. She has a better cycle in my opinion than Julia, but Julia has more damage straight out of turn 1, although Robin Liz will do much more damage and has a better sustain in long fights. I don't think Julia is that interesting. What she offers is just too restricted, and she's pretty fragile, and will only be really useful in Remembrance because we still lack plenty of bow user. The last character is Gianna from SaGa Frontier II, and she has a focus on STR and agility. Agility is pretty high as it is, STR is not top class, and all the other stats are kinda average. Average endurance, average will, average dexterity. Nothing here stands out. She's a character with a counter mechanic of Doppelgangers plus when she gets directly attacked, but only 37% of the time. It's not reliable, it's also only rank 1. She gets at least one interesting thing that increases her damage by 10% and gives her 3 BP 3 times in a row. So, this means that she has access to plenty of BP, allowing her to use this attack called Gale Mirage Blade. It has B power. She's not that strong by herself, but 3 times fast will help being a good companion to other nukers. You can place her on the back of a Magia Fight formation and use her with Alosis, for example, and she will just increase the damage of Alosis, so a good partner. But then the other attacks are not that interesting, though Rhythm is at least strong enough for the coast, reaching close to double S power with 7 BP. In the first hit, just had a chance to stun, but her intelligence is pretty bad. I don't know who else should we use stun besides Kazinsi. Well, this banner here has only a Leonor as a sell point in my opinion. That's why I think that if you want to summon before seeing the full reviews, you should summon for Gustav banner, because there you have at least Misty and Gustav as good selling points that will work for all accounts, with Johan being a little of competition to Leon and Leon being much better. Well, I guess that's it guys. I'll be making full reviews of these two banners. I will do one today for Gustav and another one tomorrow for Misty banner. So what do you think about this all? Please say here on the comment sections. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you want to support the channel, there are links on the description of the video. I hope to see you soon in the next one. Bye.